Welcome to Nerdities. Bitches.
Hello, Nerdities listeners. I'm Mike.
And I'm Justin.
And we have issues.
Boy, do we.
Of comics that we've read and need to talk about. We are joined this week by a semi-silent member.
James.
He's not going to have much to say. Maybe he will. You know what? I'm not going to speak for him. He's going to do his own speaking. Yeah. But since he hasn't read any of the issues we're talking about, it's going to be a lot of and what?
And why?
Yeah. And where? Hopefully the who part will be covered.
Yeah.
We are focusing on a new series this week for Marvel, which is kind of an old series, but in a new way. The Ultimate Universe is back. If you don't know what that is, back in 2000? No, 99. 99 or 2000. 24 years ago.
Was it really?
Yeah. 24 to 25 years ago, Marvel decided, I can't believe I've been collecting for longer since the Ultimate Universe has started than before. I was only collecting for like 9 to 10 years. Anyway, that's me talking like an old man. They decided that the continuity they had built up to this point was getting a little convoluted and it wasn't allowing them to tell the stories they'd like to with those characters. So they created something called the Ultimate Universe that only had
2000.
2000.
So 2000 to 2015.
It had most of the same characters, but they were all starting from scratch. None of the established backstory, none of the continuity they had to worry about. Basically just similar origins, and the sky's the limit. But one thing that became pretty important in the Ultimate Universe is you could never predict what was going to happen.
That's kind of annoying.
No, it was actually pretty cool, because it was like the DC of Marvel.
Well,
it was darker in tone.
It was a lot darker, a lot more serious throughout. There was a lot less comedy-based issues.
Yeah.
Think about it this way. Every 5 years or so, a major comic book character, whether it's DC or Marvel, dies. At least.
And then somehow comes back.
Yes, within 2 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Within 2 years they come back. Most of the main characters that you know of in the Marvel Universe, their counterparts in the Ultimate stories died and never came back.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Like, either just in random issues or in major events. And it wasn't just like, oh, out of this major event, one character died. They did something called Ultimatum, where
multiple die.
The first issue, like 20 characters died.
Jesus.
They were not holding back.
Like 5 to 7 major X-Men died in one scene. Like Nightcrawler.
It's like it's like sequels to like really good shows or movies that like they just get rid of everyone within like 2 episodes and then they start from scratch.
Well, Miles comes from the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And he was birthed out of the fact that they killed Peter Parker.
And the Ultimate Universe, since they were starting things from scratch, they decided to not have Peter be a grown man. He was like a 14-year-old again who got bit and had to deal with all this crap.
One of the best things in the Ultimate Universe, and they did it on the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon, kind of, where they all lived at Aunt May.
Yeah.
It was Bobby Drake, Iceman, and Johnny Storm,
Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four, who lived with Pete.
Yeah.
That's weird.
It was great.
Yeah. Was it before Aunt May found out?
I think she found out during
the
time that she had the 3 boys.
Because there was a lot of things that happened to the Fantastic Four and the X-Men of this universe. Like, one of the things that this whole series is going to bring up is that the Fantastic Four of this universe, the Ultimate Fantastic Four, didn't last for long and are one of the most tragic stories in this entire universe.
Oh, wow.
X-Men went through just as much crap as the normal X-Men do, but instead of getting out of it unscathed...
There's a lot of speeding.
Yeah. Everybody gets a little bit scathed at the very least.
Wow.
One of the last pages of that story arc, Ultimatum, shows Cyclops being assassanated while giving a speech.
Cyclops?
Yeah, and he never comes back.
They just like...
Yeah.
It's like, dead.
Yeah.
He ain't never coming back now.
He's standing up at a podium saying, mutants and humans, we can get along, everything will be fine. And someone from like a mile away
just
peels his cap. The Blob eats the Wasp Doesn't just kill.
The Blob.
The big guy that you can't move.
Oh, that
X-Men
guy.
villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eats the wasp.
Yeah.
Unaccidentally? Or?
No, just like eats her. Like she's full size. And like is eating her rib cage.
See, I'd assume like, oh, she's small, you know.
No, that's the way he's always. Yeah, yeah.
You think like,
No, because when she was small, her husband at the time used bug spray to try to kill her.
this was their Hank Pym. He's
Dick.
major dick. Like in the regular comics in the 616, Hank Pym was a bit of a dick.
Yeah.
He was abusive, but he kind of had a turn. Well, he's got one of the saddest. Like I think he's a cyborg now, connected to Ultron. That's the last place I saw him.
Yeah.
We are really digressing now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ultimate Universe was the place you'd go to see stories that had weight.
Stories that are not going to make you feel good.
Yeah, most of the time.
Stories that are like, if you're sad, this will make you sad.
Yeah, there was only one really jokey story they had. I think it was only one issue, might have been two. It was where Wolverine and Spider-Man's brains got switched, kind of.
Yeah.
Their minds got switched in each other's bodies. So it was them trying to live out a day as the other person.
That's weird.
Generally wasn't like that. Then, the third version of Secret Wars happened, where all the incursions, you're going to want to pay attention to this one, because if you're still watching the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which you should be, it's not as bad as everyone's saying,
You better.
then it's coming to the point where these incursions, you've probably heard that name before, if you watched the Doctor Doom and the Multiverse of Crazy.
Yeah. Doctor Strange.
Doctor Who, yeah, that guy.
Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness.
That thing.
Yeah.
I watched
Uh,
that the other day. So that's it.
That's what this whole Secret Wars thing is going to be.
Mhm.
When that happened with the regular comic book universes, it all came down to just the Ultimate and the 616, and that all formed together, and 616 got the better deal out of all of it. when all was said
So,
and done.
you see, an incursion is when one reality is colliding with the other reality. And then both realities don't exist anymore.
Unless one reality destroys the other one. That's what they
So,
start to figure out toward the
Is
end.
that what like the TVA and Loki like tried to stop doing?
In a sense,
Yes.
their existence prevented that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Their existence brought it down to what the Secret Wars was.
Yes.
One universe. But Secret Wars was like a hodgepodge. What, you've got a mind-blown face on. What is... Are you farting now?
It's all connected.
Yeah, it's all one big thing.
Like
So, out of the Ultimate Universe, only a handful of characters survived.
that's it.
Yeah.
Miles, who got transported over the current 616, the main universe, his family members, and
Yeah.
a handful of his friends, because he did a very nice thing to a very important person during Secret Wars, and they rewarded him
Yes.
Okay.
Big time.
big time. The only other character to make it out of the Ultimate Universe that I know of is the Maker.
Who?
The
The
Maker. Now, that wasn't his given name. It was his taken name. His given name in the Ultimate Universe was Reed Richards. Reed Richards got stuck in another alternate universe during their... Because they were teenagers in the Ultimate
Why does that
FF.
name sound so
He's
familiar?
the leader of the Fantastic Four.
That's why.
Yeah. He got stuck in a pocket universe for 1,000 years, went crazy, came back as a supervillain. That's what destroyed the Fantastic Four. That's why Johnny Storm and Bobby Drake were living...
with Peter.
Yeah.
Yes.
When he
And he
was
should bring that one back around.
14.
When they were 14, 15
Okay.
years old.
Yeah. They were teenagers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aunt May's house became a flop house for superhero teens.
Yes.
So, that universe disappeared.
Okay.
It actually was recreated at one point. There was another Ultimate Universe that was... I don't remember what it was in, but there was another one operating out there.
Was there?
Yeah. That's the problem with a giant universe like the Marvel Universe. Like, they do stories and forget someone already did a thing, and they contradict it all the time. However, Ultimate Invasion and this new Ultimate Universe thing is its own entity.
Yes.
We are talking about this today because Justin messaged me the other day, basically, what the fuck, after reading
Yes.
these 5 episodes, these 5 issues.
Yeah.
So, please expound on your what the fuck question.
Okay. So I remember that the Maker got clapped up at the end of Secret Wars.
Yeah.
and they locked his ass away.
Mhm.
I don't remember much of him being involved in anything since.
No, they had him on ice. They were just
Okay.
waiting for this story. It might have been right after Secret Wars. It might have been during that story. It was definitely right around after that because he hasn't been doing anything lately.
Right.
They've been sitting on him.
So we pick up with him, and he had jokered his way into getting people to rescue his ass.
Yeah. Paid for a handful of people to rescue him, but
You can open
in a duplicitous manner,
it.
it cost them dearly.
Yes. Fucked up.
Very creative, very Jonathan Hickman way of going about ruining all these people.
Yeah. So, all that I get.
Mhm.
And then he goes to Miles.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, you and me, we're a lot alike, kid.
Yeah.
Miles is like, oh shit, you remember? Yeah, I remember.
I remember.
Like the only two people
Yeah.
that remember that universe.
So then the Maker's like, you want to come wet? Miles is like, no, I'm good.
Okay.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
So then the newest version of the Illuminati, which is Tony, T'Challa, 616 Reed, Strange, Namor.
I think Xavier was still in it at this point because Krakoa
Yeah,
was going strong.
he is in there.
Okay. It's essentially the same.
Yeah.
If Captain America's in there, it's the same version as the last Illuminati. And I don't think he is. I think he's
No.
washed his hands of that insanity.
So then they're like, oh shit, he escaped. We gotta stop him. They go to stop him. Meanwhile, the Maker's gotten all these things together that he needs to go and I guess recreate his world. They try to stop him. They can't. He goes. He recreates the ultimate Earth.
The thing is, though, he doesn't.
His own version of it.
What he does is he goes back in time and stops.
Well, he creates his own world by altering a timeline.
By essentially altering the 616 timeline. By stopping certain, I should say, the majority of heroes from ever coming to be. And the ones...
But that isn't the 616, though.
No, that's the thing. I think they're using endgame logic in that if you go back in time and change something, it doesn't negate the universe that you came from. It creates a whole new one. So he doesn't necessarily want to recreate the Ultimate Universe. He wants his own universe to control.
Right.
That will look and feel a lot like that universe by the time he's done.
So he does. And in this universe, Tony's still young. And so the Iron Man of this one is Howard Stark.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yes. And then you have the Hulk is like a Buddhist.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's Banner.
So what, he's like a pacifist?
Kinda. You have Captain Britain.
Which is Carter.
No.
No?
In the
Let's just throw what if logic out of the window.
Yeah,
Why
don't-
we?
Don't try to think about it.
yeah, we'll have to describe all of these characters to you because what happens in the MCU isn't always what the source material was like.
Yeah, because Captain Britain is a dude.
What?
Well, and then it eventually becomes chick.
Yeah,
'cause his
Captain
sister takes
Captain
over. It
Britain's
doesn't matter.
Psylocke's brother
Yeah.
until Psylocke becomes Captain
Captain
Britain.
Britain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Anyway,
layers.
so you got Colossus, Omega Red, and Magic
Yeah,
are together as a family. I did not know that. Omega Red's he's not actually their sibling, is he?
no, he's not. The concept going on here is the Maker went back and positioned everybody in places of power that he thought he could control.
Yeah.
And is
those
running
that
the show.
He couldn't.
Yeah, he's running the show from behind the scenes.
And and anybody he couldn't take care of is locked up.
That's weird.
He made sure the Fantastic Four never came to be. He stopped Peter from getting bitten by the spider.
Yes.
Wait,
He
so
stopped
just,
them.
slaps the spider?
Yes.
Basically,
Yes.
yeah. He goes there and I think
He literally slaps the fucking spider right before it bites Peter.
I was gonna say, literally, as he's about to bite, he like smacks it off.
Did he
the ground.
steal it?
Sorry, bro.
'Cause
No, he
he did.
He
Okay.
killed that fucking thing.
He has Thor locked up in Asgard.
And Loki becomes king.
No,
No.
Loki's not around so far. Lady Sif is his jailer, and she's in charge of making sure that he stays in prison.
Yeah.
Which comes into play later.
Stephen Strange is locked up somewhere.
Is he? I don't even remember what they did with Strange.
They have one panel is like his list, and it'll say like inactive or
Okay.
whatever it is, and then like.
I'm shocked they just didn't kill him.
But
from
he
the
he
start.
jacked the eye of Agamotto.
Yeah, it's interesting that such a bloodthirsty character like that doesn't just murk all the characters.
Right?
Yeah.
It's
Not
very
just lock him up.
it's very interesting. It almost feels like he wants his shot at making himself the hero in like the perfect society, which is pretty much what this whole thing is set up to be, right?
Yeah.
And then inside of this city where like these important groups meet,
Yeah.
there is this like sphere. And inside the sphere, time works differently.
Okay.
And inside that sphere is that Earth's Reed Richards, who he makes into Doctor Doom.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I hate Doctor Doom.
Yeah, that universe's Reed is walking around in the armor. Is essentially being called Doom?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm guessing he killed that universe's Doom, or the Maker killed that universe's Doom with zero prejudice. Just like
Yeah.
took that fucker down.
And so, like, Howard Stark, once he starts learning about all this stuff, because he's brought into the fold, he is all about, like, this is wrong.
He's been a puppet this whole time, and they're like, "Oh, you did good work.
Yeah.
Come check out what's really going on."
Yeah.
And he's
So
like,
he
"Yeah."
starts planning with Reed to enact some kind of plan because the Maker got a chunk of his noggin taken off.
Bye.
I'm guessing it was when he was first locked away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like a hole blown in his head. But because he's got Reed Richards' powers and he's already a genius,
Yeah.
he's able to maintain, not just maintain, but still put together incredible plans like this.
So, question.
But his memory seems a bit
off.
foggy.
Okay. So, question. The Guardians of the Galaxy, are they even involved with this, or did he make sure they never happened?
Couldn't really touch the cosmic stuff.
Yeah.
I think he's
Okay.
kind of stopped Earth from being involved in the cosmic stuff as much as
Okay.
possible.
Yeah.
Another question.
Okay.
Who's making the comics since Stanley's been dead?
You know, he didn't really
He
write
didn't write the comics.
many of them up in the last
Yeah. Really?
He didn't
last
write
couple
many of them
decades.
since like the
Yeah.
80s.
Maybe. He became the publisher in the 70s, so he wasn't
Yeah.
really doing much writing then.
Hmm.
Yeah. There's a lot of different people doing it.
Right. So their plan goes down. There's a big battle with
Well, the thing that's happening is someone's sending a bunch of Avengers to attack the Maker.
yeah.
Okay.
And it's not just like, oh, they're sending a team of Avengers. No, they're sending like 30 Captain Americas, 20 Giant Men.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
literally just every Avenger from every different multiverse is
No.
basically what they're doing?
No.
No, they're cloning a bunch of these
Yes.
ones and sending them in as fodder to create problems for the Maker. And he's trying to figure out who the hell's doing this to him.
It's kind of weird.
That's why he brings
It is.
in Howard to work with Reed to get his final solution. Not the
Okay.
best
Right.
wording, but
Then you find out who's sending the clones.
Which is...
Kang.
Ugh, okay.
But it's not the Kang you're thinking.
Forget, who's Kang?
Kang's a dude in the 616. That's just
he's a time traveler.
right.
He's Kang the
Kang,
Conqueror.
Kang.
Yeah. This Kang is Howard. Tony?
Is it? I don't
They
remember.
did a fucking Iron Man armor.
Okay.
What?
Well, Tony eventually gets the Iron Man armor, right?
Yeah. A little foggy
Yeah.
because
I'd have to go back through.
yeah. But anyway, so they have a big battle inside the sphere, right? And like shit goes down, it blows up, and shuts down. So there's like nothing coming out, and it's been a long time. Normally it'll shut down for like weeks at a time. It's like 2 weeks on the outside. Normal world is what the fuck's the Hulk say?
I don't remember the exact ratio.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
Long time. And so it's been closed for like 40 Earth days, which means it's been like probably thousands of years inside the sphere. And before this, Howard learns that all the like bad things that happen, it's all staged.
Yeah. Every major global event is controlled like a chessboard by the Maker. And all of these different families, these houses, like Colossus and his sister and a handful of them run the Russian area.
Right.
They're basically the Soviet Union. Sunfire and the Silver Samurai and one or two other people run Asia. It's basically grouping them together stereotypically,
Yeah.
but it's kind of the way you would do it if you wanted to have control over people as a small group.
Right.
Yeah.
So they talk about what they're going to do now that the Maker is locked away, and they cause this event in America. And
Yeah, because he had been teaching them a tragedy or two, a disaster is the best way to control people.
right,
And the only way to control them, though, is to give them an enemy.
Which is?
Tony and Howard
Yeah.
Ugh.
He puts the blame on them. He uses one of their satellites to...
to like cause a massive like
Where did they destroy? Was it Midtown?
yeah.
Yeah. Basically just blew up Times Square.
So, but then they're like, and the zealot Tony Stark is dead too. Blah blah blah. Like one of the last things you see is, it picks up with like a few days later, and Tony's alive. Tony's alive along with Doctor Doom Reed, and in this world, there's no Captain America.
Yeah, he's still sucking ice.
Well, the Maker didn't know that.
Didn't he?
No, because when he goes back to find him, he's not in the ice.
Oh, that's
And-
right. Someone cut him out.
Yes, and he gives the explanation. He's like, "Oh, I guess something about the super soldier serum, but because such and such didn't happen certain ways, it would explain that there was no Steve Rogers." Well, the last bit you see with Tony and Reed is they have Cap in a block of ice. First, they break out Thor.
Yeah. They go get Thor. And because Sif agrees with their mission, but also made a pledge to make sure that Thor is kept imprisoned,
Yeah,
she does kind of a gray area thing. And is like, all right, I'm your jailer, so I have to go with you everywhere. You are still in jail because I'm with you.
yes.
So that's how the team is getting put together.
Yeah. So right now you have Tony Stark, who's Iron Lad.
He hasn't earned the name Iron Man yet.
Yes. Reed Richards, who's dressed as Doctor Doom. Frozen Cap, Sif, and Thor.
Thor.
Trying to form a team of some sort, I guess, to take on all these other... No, because he's locked up or dead. But like all these other factions that are now going to come for
Yeah.
the U.S.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't hear your question yet. I heard
So-
some questions from James.
So like... I was confused by why he would go back and set things up the way he does instead of just eliminating all of it.
Just eliminating every hero?
Yeah. Like, not necessarily having to kill them, but, like,
Stopping their paths.
circumventing the
Well,
things.
can't do that to the mutants. You'd have to kill them.
It's true.
So there's always going to be people of power popping up, I think is the rationale. Why not pick the ones you believe you can control?
Yeah.
Because out of all the characters that are there, they're powerful. They're physically powerful, so they can get stuff done for you, but they're not all leaders. They're not. None of them are dumb, but they're that perfect amount of intelligent where it's like they can take care of themselves and those around them, but they're never going to try and overthrow someone as smart as the Maker. And half of them don't even really know. Howard didn't know who the hell the Maker was. He didn't know all the strings that were being pulled.
Yeah.
So,
Well, because he had Obadiah running everything.
yeah. I think that's the rationale. Rather than completely clear the board, give yourself some pawns that you know are powerful.
It makes sense. But, like, yeah, I don't think they name Banner by name. Maybe they do. Maybe they do introduce
I
him as
don't
Banner.
remember.
It's just weird. All of it's weird.
It's very weird. That's a very Hickman thing. You have to be reading, looking for a bunch of information to fill in the gaps. You have to be actively reading, sometimes going back over stuff to be like, wait, did I just breeze past that too quickly?
And also, like, doesn't seem like anybody from the 616 comes into play during any of this at all.
Except for the very first issue where he leaves there. Yeah,
Right.
that's not what this... I'm pretty sure this whole thing isn't about the 616 coming to rescue anything. This is about these new heroes trying to fix their world the Maker screwed up, which I'm perfectly fine with.
Also, wouldn't this eventually cause an incursion again?
No, because the incursions weren't a natural event. They were from the Beyonders, which is a group of aliens that kind of lived outside of the known realities and were so powerful they could screw with them.
Yeah.
They are one of the things that helped create realities and eventually just got bored with them and wanted to wipe the slate clean. And the one above all wasn't stopping them. None of the other archetypes, physical embodiments of existence were stopping them, which is, above our pay grade, I guess.
Isn't the one above all after the current Beyonder anyway?
Someone else was searching for the Beyonder. It wasn't the one above all. That was that Avengers series. It wasn't him. It was some other big bad they created
End of all
specifically
things
for
or
it.
whatever the fuck.
Yeah, it was a totally different dude. Okay, was that your only hang up with this story?
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, I'm interested to see where the fuck it goes.
I'm happy they got Brian Hitch back.
Sure, yeah.
Always looks pretty when he's drawing anything. Where it went so far, the first issue of Ultimate Spider-Man has come out.
Okay.
So I don't know how much you've read about that. It's Tony and Doomreed sent the spider to Peter. Because it's grown-up Peter with 2 kids. Uncle Ben's still alive.
Oh, shit.
Aunt May passed away.
Okay.
And she passed away in the attack they blame on Stark.
Oh.
Yeah. And in this universe, Uncle Ben was a newspaper man, good friends with J. Jonah Jameson, and some shit goes down there between them and the Daily Bugle. So it's very different. It's about an older Peter deciding to pick up the mantle. It's basically like he's handed this concept by Reed and Tony. Like, here, you should have been this Spider-Man guy. You can be him now. Do you think you should? And he's all like, to be continued.
Which we know he will.
Yeah, it's the fucking point of the whole thing.
Yeah. Okay, alright.
But what if he says no?
Then they don't sell any comic books, so I doubt they're going to go down that road.
By the way, Ultimate Thor is one of the highlights.
What was his gimmick in that? Oh, but
He's just like, he's very much like, you realize he kind of just fucking jailed himself because he didn't want to.
Oh yeah, he couldn't be stopped if he wanted to leave. He believed what he was told, that he deserved to be in jail.
And then he's like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
And he comes out and he goes to get his. He's like, Tony's like, "All right, cool, we got this ship." He's like, "We don't need your fucking ship." So he goes to grab Mjolnir and like, Sif's like, "Get back in your cell," and he's like, "No, I'm good." And like the guards are like, "Get back, prisoner," and he's like, "You didn't understand me. Came for what's mine." And he calls fucking Mjolnir, and she's like, "Do you think you're even worthy enough to lift him?" And he's like, "I don't have to." He does the hand thing and knocks out the fucking guards.
Yeah, he believed he deserved to be jailed, I think it is. And until he found a reason not to be, until like they showed up and they weren't just like, "Come on, we have to go on a fight." They were like, "Oh, you've been screwed, you've been set up.
Yeah.
You should fight to
Like,
to
"Don't
stop
give me
this."
hope.
Yeah.
They're like, no, for real. All of us.
For realsies.
Fucked.
This is all not how it should be. Let's go punch something. I say the yay.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. Just, I was just kind of hung up on the, isn't this going to cause more problems?
Always.
Yeah.
But not the big galactic
That's what I'm
incursion
thinking.
level problems. So, as of right now, it's a very limited production run. There's just Spider-Man that has one issue out so far, and then Ultimate X-Men coming out soon. It's going to be very different from the first version of Ultimate X-Men because it's being written and drawn by Peach Momoko.
Oh, yeah, they got the preview in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got a very anime-inspired... Well, she is Japanese. She's from Japan. Only moved here within the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So it's that very Eastern-influenced, hand-drawn,
I like
not
her
a lot of
style,
thick inks. And it's going to focus primarily on the school aspect of it, because they just keep showing armor on every cover, so it's going to be her focus. Which, you know, a young Japanese girl, sure, why wouldn't a young Japanese woman make that the focus of her story?
You would have to, too, I think, because of how X-driven the 616 has been with the whole Krakoa shit.
You should pull it back down to the school level if you're going to
Yeah.
try and do something different.
Yeah.
This is much like how the Ultimate Universe started, where it was only Spider-Man, X-Men, the Ultimates, and one other book?
FF, wasn't it?
FF took a little while to start. Can't remember what the fourth one was, because I think it was one I wasn't picking up. Ooh, but it was very, very limited. It took him a while to start building off.
Thor?
Of it.
No,
Wasn't
because
Thor.
he was part of
It was
Ultimates.
part of the Ultimates. Once they did start picking up, though, it got a little bit out of hand. A lot of it out of hand, just like everything Marvel
I think
does.
it was the FF.
Was it? Because I don't think they were a launch title.
Might not have been a launch, but they had Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate X-Men, Ultimate Fantastic Four, and the Ultimates.
Weird. Maybe I just didn't pick it up. I wasn't a Hitch fan at the time. And that was written by Mark Millar. That's right. I'm still saying Mark Millar. Millar is pronounced
Yeah, that was
Millar.
it. Those are the only four.
Weird. Could have swore that took a little while to get started.
Hmm.
Well, it didn't start with Mark Millar. That's why. It started with Andy Kubert. Or Adam. Yeah, it was Adam Kubert. And I'm not a huge
One of
fan
the
of his. One of the Kubert clan. Oh, I can't believe it's been 25 years since that started.
Must feel old.
I do feel old. You know why that is?
Because you're old.
Thank you.
Yeah. Right. I feel relieved. I've got some issues off my chest.
Yes. We talked about our issues, and there's still more out there. And by that, I mean the stack that's in my car.
Yeah. I'm catching up, though.
Mm-hmm.
Catching up.
Okay.
All right. So
That's been our conference on comic book chicanery.
Yep.
we'll be
Love
back
seasons. Love
soon
seasons.
enough. You know.
And when we are, we hope you're there for us.
Yeah.
Until that day, how do we don't usually sign off when we don't do enough of these to sign off in a specific
we don't.
way. Excelsior,
Sure.
make mine nerdities.
Yeah.
Enough said.
Yeah. Enough said.
You know,
No, it's okay.
fuck bye.
Yeah, fuck bye.
Bye.
Because of the end of civilization, the clamp cable network now leaves the air. We hope you have enjoyed our programming, but more importantly, we hope you have enjoyed life.